The boy who sold newspapers and inspired millions. This is a true story. A story so extraordinary that if it were written as fiction, many people would find it hard to believe. It begins in a small coastal town, long before sunrise. While most people were still asleep, a young boy walked through the quiet streets carrying a bundle of newspapers. The sea breeze filled the air. The streets were empty, and with each step the boy moved closer to a future he could not yet imagine. What nobody knew at the time was that this ordinary boy was beginning an extraordinary journey, a journey that would inspire millions. This is the story of a boy who refused to give up. The boy was born in a small island town surrounded by the sea. His family lived a simple life. His father was known for his honesty, discipline, and strong values. From a young age, the boy learned the importance of hard work, humility, and perseverance. But there was something else that fascinated him: the sky. Whenever he saw birds soaring above the ocean, he would stop and watch. A question began to grow in his mind. How do they fly? It seemed like a simple question, but sometimes a simple question can change an entire life. As he grew older, his curiosity only became stronger. He loved learning. He loved understanding how things worked. One day, a science teacher explained the principles of flight. For many students, it was just another lesson. For him, it was a turning point. The teacher didn't just explain science, he inspired imagination. That day, the young boy discovered a dream that would shape his future: to learn how airplanes fly and one day work in the field of aerospace. For the first time, he could see a direction for his future. A dream had been born. Life, however, had other plans. Every morning before school, he helped distribute newspapers to support his family. While many children were sleeping, he was already working. Then he attended classes. Then he studied. Day after day, month after month, year after year. It would have been easy to complain, easy to blame his circumstances, but he didn't. He understood something many people never learn: your starting point does not determine where you finish. After completing school, he continued his studies and eventually earned admission to study aeronautical engineering. It was exactly what he had hoped for. But there was one problem. The fees were beyond what his family could afford. For a moment, it seemed as though his dream would end before it even began. The admission letter was in his hands, but the future felt out of reach. Then, something remarkable happened. Dreams often require sacrifice, but this time, it was his sister's sacrifice. Believing in her brother's dream, his sister sacrificed her gold jewelry so that he could continue his education. A family with very little was giving up something precious so one young man could continue chasing his dream. The boy never forgot that sacrifice. From that day forward, he carried not only his own hopes, but the hopes of his entire family, and he became determined to make their sacrifice worthwhile. College was challenging. The subjects were difficult. The expectations were high. Then came a project that would test him in a way he had never experienced before. One day, a professor reviewed his aircraft design project. The professor was disappointed. The work was far below expectations. He asked him to improve the project immediately and gave him a strict deadline. For days, he worked relentlessly. Late nights became normal. Sleep became a luxury. Every spare moment was spent improving the project. When the deadline arrived, the professor reviewed the work again. This time, everything was different. The professor was impressed. The same project he had criticized had been transformed. That experience taught the young student a lesson he would carry throughout his life. He learned that excellence does not come from luck. It comes from discipline, consistent effort, and persistence. As graduation approached, another dream remained alive in his heart. He wanted to become a fighter pilot. For years, he had imagined himself flying through the skies. Everything seemed to be leading toward that goal. Finally, he appeared for the Air Force selection process. Only a handful of candidates would be chosen. He waited anxiously for the results. Then came the news. He had not been selected. He missed the cutoff by just one rank. Imagine the disappointment, years of dreaming, years of preparation, and now the dream was gone. For a while, he felt lost. Many people would have accepted defeat. Many would have given up. But he chose something different. He chose to move forward. Years later, he would realize that this failure was not the end of his journey. It was the beginning of a different one. Sometimes life doesn't reject us. Sometimes it redirects us. The young man entered the world of science and engineering. His work would eventually take him into India's space program. The challenges were enormous, resources were limited, technology was limited, but determination was not. He worked tirelessly alongside other scientists and engineers. Together, they pursued goals that many believed were impossible. Then came a major setback. One of their most important rocket launches failed. Years of effort seemed to disappear in a matter of minutes. The nation watched, criticism followed, questions were asked, doubts appeared. For many people, this would have been devastating. But something remarkable happened. Instead of blaming his team, their leader stepped forward and accepted responsibility for the failure. The young scientist never forgot that moment. He learned that true leaders take responsibility during failure and share credit during success. The team went back to work. They studied their mistakes, they improved their designs, and they tried again. Months later, another launch was attempted. This time, it was successful. The nation celebrated. What once seemed impossible had become reality. And standing behind that success was the same boy who once delivered newspapers before sunrise. Years passed. The newspaper boy became a scientist. The scientist became a national inspiration. His contributions helped strengthen the nation's scientific and defense capabilities. People across the country admired his dedication, intelligence, and humility. Eventually, the nation entrusted him with its highest office. The boy from the small coastal town became the President of India. That boy was Dr. A.P.J. Abdul Kalam, the man millions would later know as the Missile Man of India. But becoming president was not what made him special. What made him special was the fact that success never changed him. He remained humble, he remained approachable, and he never stopped believing in young people. Wherever he went, he encouraged students to dream big, because he knew the power of a dream. After all, his own journey had started with one. A simple question asked by a curious boy looking at the sky. How do they fly? On July 27, 2015, Dr. Abdul Kalam was delivering a lecture to students. He was doing what he loved most, teaching, inspiring, encouraging young minds to believe in themselves. And during that lecture, he collapsed. Even in his final moments, he was serving a purpose greater than himself, a purpose he had dedicated his entire life to, inspiring the next generation. His story reminds us that greatness does not begin with wealth, it does not begin with privilege, and it certainly does not begin with perfect circumstances. It begins with a dream strong enough to survive difficulties, a dream strong enough to survive failure, a dream strong enough to keep moving. And because of that, he inspired millions. Dr. Abdul Kalam proved that your circumstances do not decide your future, only your determination does. Perhaps the most important lesson Dr. Abdul Kalam left behind is this: your future is not decided by where you start. It is decided by whether you keep moving forward when life becomes difficult. The boy who once walked through the streets delivering newspapers could never have imagined how far his journey would take him. But he never stopped dreaming. He never stopped learning. And most importantly, he never gave up. That is why millions still remember him today. Not because he became president, not because he became a famous scientist, but because he proved that ordinary people can achieve extraordinary things. All it takes is a dream, the courage to keep going, and the determination to never give up. So wherever you are in life right now, keep moving forward, because your story is still being written. Dreams transform into thoughts, and thoughts result in action.